So in this video, we're going to try to understand when should your midfielders make deep runs forward. It's very important to understand as a coach, as a player, what's the timing that your player needs to make that run in, right? The timing is extremely important because if you don't make the run at the right time, you're really going to end up out of position, especially if you're a deep lying midfielder, right? So one of the things we're going to look at is one of the goals scored by Tottenham in the recent Norwich versus Tottenham game. And it was actually one of their midfielders that made a breakthrough run through the midfield. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the clip and then look at what exactly happened on the drawing board to understand how do you identify those runs. Norwich are playing with a back four and two defensive midfielders. So they're effectively playing a 4-2-3-1. So are Tottenham, right? Tottenham are playing a 4-2-3-1. So you see in the video that as the ball shifts further to the right, the players sort of get bunched up a bit more, right? So you'll see that the defensive midfielder moves further to the right and the pressure is applied a lot more on the ball in this area. Now, what happens in this case is because Norwich are playing such a high line, there's a lot of space behind the line as well. So the midfielder in this case, Bentancur, really identifies that specific space. And when he gets the ball, he plays the ball to the central striker and continues his run through this channel. And it's very important to understand the opening of this specific channel here, right? And when that channel is open, that's when you make a run. It's also very important to note that in these cases, it's more effective for the central midfielder to make the run and not the wide left. Okay, it's very important because the problem here is the wide left is being marked one-on-one, right? So it's very easy for the wide left to make a run and still be marked by this player while this midfielder stays where he is. But in essence, when this channel opens up, if the midfielder makes the run, right, this guy has a decision to make, right? He either goes with the run or he stays back and marks his player. Most of the time he's going to go with the run, right? But if the run is made at the right time, it's very difficult to track back. It's very, very difficult. And worst case, if the run is being made and the defenders really converge, then you have the ability to have free players behind that play, right? So these runs essentially break the entire defensive setup of the team because of the way and the time that they're made in. So in this case, that run is made by Bentancur when he passes the ball centrally and continues his run. And you'll see that the striker plays the ball to the other central midfielder who spots that run and plays the ball right when he's pretty much on the offside line. And the ball is played further up here by the central midfielder. He gets the ball. He's pretty much beyond the line at this point, and the play is finished by the actual striker after a lateral pass into the box, right? So I think what we can learn from this is you really have to time those runs. And more importantly, you have to teach your players to identify that channel and that space. And when that space is open, that's when they make that run. It's also very important for players to understand when they make this run, what happens if they lose the ball, right? And this is where some of your other players really have to understand their role if they lose the ball, right? So let's say the ball was played to the central player and then he lost the ball. The other midfielder who was supposed to be deep lying is now much further ahead. So effectively, you want some of your players who are more attacking to then drop, right? Or to then track back with the play as much as possible, right? So these two players would essentially swap positions in that case. So you have to make sure that the players understand their role on the ball and off the ball, right? And in this specific setup, you can see that these deep lying runs have to be made with a lot of caution and at the right time.